Hi everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV. This is GGGaming Gone Mad, episode 6. I can tell you things have been going mad. We've had Gary Lentin trying to hook up on the show. He couldn't get to his computer. He's managed to eventually get on with his cell phone. Gary, how are you? And more importantly, where are you? All I see is TVs.
Brent, hi. I'm in the office. Yes, it was my intention to get home and do it, but we were at a party, funny enough, hosted by Greg upstairs. So instead of rushing home, trying to get through the traffic and everything and trying to convince my wife that we still had wine at home, I decided to try it from the office. I'm using my handheld mobile telephone, and hopefully, we're getting a decent signal and people can see what's going on.
Yeah, the screen's not bad. I can see horse racing in the background there, and I can sort of see I guess I'd say the top of your head there. And Gary, maybe just a quick update before we get into this week's specials and stuff. A quick update on the master punter. Someone called the Vulture well out in front, ahead of Two Left Feet, who's one of our forum members.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. But I'll tell you, Brent, something interesting that I think, right? There are a lot of people that have moved up to 6,000 and 7,000 now, right? From the initial 3,000. There are a few people on 8 and 9. I'm telling you now, I'd be surprised if the guys in front continue to lead. I think that somebody's going to come with a roughie. If you think about it, let's think about it this way, right? Say there are 8 guys below them with 4, let's say between 4,000 and 6,000.
Yes.
If those 8 guys all back a different 7-to-1 shot.
Yes.
One of them's going to hit the front. Am I right, Brent?
No, for sure, for sure.
So that's what I think. So these guys that are out in front, I think it's a bit of a false lead, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that they're feeling comfortable. I think they got something coming for them. I'll be honest. I think the winner's going to come from somebody not in the first 2 at this stage.
Well, I'm hoping it comes from someone in the first 6 because I'm lurking there on about 5,000 at the moment.
Seems like a guy like you.
Hey, sorry?
A guy like you, exactly. Next week,
yeah.
You're pretty desperate next week. Not desperate, but you're under a bit of pressure. You go and you choose a first-time try scorer or any-time try scorer, something like that. Am I right, Brent?
Yes.
Choose a guy like Oki Oosthuizen at 200-1. We prepared to lay you $1 million to 5,000 Oki Oosthuizen, and you just hit the front like a good thing.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I've also got my 500 Rand bet with the Oracle, and I know he's about $1,000 down already. So I've got to sort of obviously I'm going after the big prize, but at the same time I want to make sure I stay above him. So that's also something I'm keeping quite a close eye on. We've got quite a few boys commenting on the show, and guys, stay close because we're going to have a couple of nice promos for you. One that's going to require action at the end of the show, and the other one where you're going to have to just wait a bit. We're still hashing out some of the TNCs, but you can certainly get a good idea on the show what it's all about.
What I'm also going to do, Brent, just to whet everybody's appetite, I'm going to ask Nicolette if she can bring me the trophy, which is just on the other corner of the office there.
Yes.
We've shown the trophy before, have we?
No, we haven't shown the trophy, no.
And now I've lost. There you go again. Thank you, Nicolette.
Here comes the trophy of Master Punter.
There we go. Nicolette came to work without clothes on, so she just handed it over without doing anything.
Unfortunately, we could see her in the mirror.
GGGaming Master Punter Champion, September 28th. The GG's there. It weighs weighs a lot. If you look in the background there, I don't know if you can see those trophies there, Brent.
Yes.
That's a poker tournament I won. That's a gold bowl. And that's Ahmed, one of our chief traders. Those are the 3 poker tournaments that he's won. Pretty, obviously, very easy fields. That one there is the only one that really means anything, But that's a bit of a tour of my office, which I'm sure most people found exceptionally boring. And I apologize for that. Right, let's move on to more important
stuff.
Well,
I must say, Emil has actually said that's what all offices should look like. I think, when I have come down to offices once, all those TVs there, that's the way many of us would like to work.
I mean, I don't know if you can see more there. There are more TVs, there's trading. There some people there. There's my partner, Greg. I don't know if you remember Greg.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where we are, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is a great office, but it's a great office. It really is. I'm very lucky to work here,
That's it. Well, Ruan for saying he's down to 700 Rand, and Hendrik, who was one of the favorites, I believe, for the competition, says he has lost his full 3,000, but he'll definitely be back for the next one. And Gary, I guess just to finish off on the competition, it's been good for you guys because you had a lot of entries. Not that many people are necessarily left, which of course they're losing their Tom.
No, that's the truth. But, from our side, from a GG Gaming perspective, we're not up on the tournament, but we never did it for that, Brent. I've said all along that our intention is very much to get people to join us, to come on board here and see if they enjoy the experience with GG Gaming. And hopefully my challenge comes after the tournament, that I can get the people to continue betting with us and continue having fun. Our next tournament, like I said, will be in November. We'll run it through the whole of November. The only difference there will be that you're only going to get 3 days in November to enter. We're not going to allow people to jump in any time. It's going to be a once-off, I think probably a 5,000 Rand tournament, and we're going to run it through November.
Yeah, I like that, actually. I like the fact that, I mean, you always, with these things, Gary, I run a few tournaments and competitions myself. You live and learn, so to speak. You know, you see what works and implement that the next time. But it probably is better to get all the guys committed early on. Gary, just want to have a look. Let's into the current betting, just to run through that quickly. But tomorrow night's game, the Free State up against the Pumas. Your handicap here is sitting at -6.5. The Pumas, the away team. Any betting interest in this one?
There has been a little bit of money for the Pumas. It's an interesting game. I mean, you know, like we said, I mean, you know, Free State obviously is not the best Free State side that they can put out. You know what I'm saying, Brent? We know that. But there has been a little bit of money for the Pumas at 6.5. I'm hesitant to change it. I'm probably going to leave it there. For me, you know, Free State just totally capitulated last week, I thought. You know what I'm saying? And it was really a horrible performance, wasn't it, in that second half, Brent?
Yeah, against Equals, yeah.
I don't think they'll be that bad at home. I really don't. For me, I'm even tempted to go for Free State Free State up level. You know what I mean? I just think at home there'll be a different kettle of fish, and I think that's a tough game, and I don't think people should be rushing into the minus the away side. What do you think?
I managed to get early in the week. There was quite a few differences in opinion with the bookmakers, and I got 8 to 10. I was a little bit slower than some, but I got 8 to 10 Pumas on the board.
Okay.
I do think they'll win. So obviously I'm sitting quite pretty there from a value point of view. But yeah, I don't know. This Cheetahs team, despite it being sort of a C team, they've done a little bit better than I would have expected, quite frankly. But I do think that Pumas are targeting this one. If the Pumas win this game, then it's the Cheetahs who are guaranteed to play in the relegation. So I am on the Pumas, and if forced to have a handicap bet, Gary, I'd go Pumas -6.5.
Right. Okay, so you don't see any value of just, you know, backing the Pumas at 8 to 10 like you've got them, taking the Free State +6.5 and hoping for a tight Puma win. Not your game?
Not my game always, unless I start off fully with that intention. So if I really know that a market's going to move and I get in early, I will consider perhaps hedging a bit. And it's something I have done in the past. But normally I prefer to just sit on a bet which looks a cracking price, and because there's nothing worse than going for the middle and then your original bet arrives and you end up sort of pulling square. You know, that can be quite distressing as well. So yeah, I'm going to sit tight on that. And looking ahead to the next game, Gary, it's the big one. It's the Sharks against the Lions. The Sharks unbeaten in their 3 matches. They're -5.5 against the Lions side. They got a hiding last week against Western Province, and I'm sure this would have been a choice game were it not for the fact that Province absolutely destroyed the Lions last week.
I agree with that. But the Lions really, they were so bad last week. You know what I mean? They just never got out of their own way. I mean, we spoke during the week that Dave had said that Province were the best bet he's ever seen. And good luck to him. You know what I mean? He got that 100%. What you saw last week, Brent, you've got to believe that the Sharks at -5.5 are going to, I would think they're going to cover that spread quite comfortably.
Yeah, I like them as well. I've also just looked at that game closely tonight. I'm also on the Sharks. We'll, of course, be talking about that with the boys in our handicap show at 9 o'clock as well. We'll be going through all of the rugby. Just to mention, this game is going to be one of the games where we're going to be looking, and just to tell the guys already, we're going to be looking for you to make a call on the winner and the winning margin as part one of a 2-legged challenge that's going to take place over 2 weeks. And Gary, maybe we should move on to that one now and just talk about what you're proposing there and what prize you're putting up for grabs.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to run a competition. It's the Sharks-Lions game, and next week going to be the Springboks against the Wallabies game. And we're going to allocate points for the person that gets it right. Not the person, the people that get it right, that miss by a point, miss by 2 points, miss by 3 points. And it doesn't matter how you miss by the point, whether it's over or above. We're going to allocate the same amount of points, right? And whatever the points prizes are this week, next week we'll add 50% to that. So if you don't win this week, you still got a chance next week. And the ultimate winner, will either get 5,000 Rand in a free bet, their choice, or we'll send them to the Loftus Test match on the Saturday, where South Africa play New Zealand. All expenses paid. We'll throw in lunch, we'll throw in the booze, and if they're out of Joburg, we'll throw in the air tickets. Or they can just take a 5,000 Rand bet if they don't like the sight of blood and they think that the All Blacks are going to come out firing, which I do. So that's a competition that runs over 2 weeks, starting with this week. And the guy that comes second gets a 2,500 Rand free bet. So not just the winner.
So we've got that. So guys, just to mention, I will bring the slide up at the end, but because this was discussed fairly late on, what we'll be doing on this one is putting the terms and conditions as well as the point scoring system. That will be up on the Good for the Game website by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll tweet that, but if you go to the Good Game for the Game website, we will have it there, and we'll have it under the GGGaming promos banner as well. So we'll make sure that people can see that. You'll have time to enter, so this is not a competition you have to enter now. I do want to ask the guys, and I see you, welcome to ZA Punter. It's his first show. He's watching. But let me ask the guys on the comments now, if you could choose between a 5,000 rand free bet or a trip for 2 to Loftus, what's it going to be? Bearing in mind, if you're outside the province, that includes the flights up as well. Which would you take? I'll let the guys answer there a little bit while we have a look at the actual Curry Cup game still to come. Just quickly on this one, Gary, before we move off this game, -5.5 Sharks. I know you said you fancy it. What are the punters gone for here?
That's where all the money is. Brent haven't laid a bet on the Lions yet, you know. Yeah, for my money, I just think that if I said to you the Sharks won by 16, would you be surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they beat the Bulls, I think, by 16. But then I think the thing about the Sharks, Gary, they are a little bit inconsistent. I mean, they beat the Bulls by 16, although I think they were flattered a bit by the scoreline. But then they only beat the Pumas by 18, you know, so it's kind of one of those things. But I think if the Sharks turn it on, the Lions could be there for the taking. So I'm very much with the other punters and, for that matter, with you on this one.
Good. Makes me feel better when you're with me, Brent.
I'm sure it does with my record, eh?
Yes.
And then, Gary, you were out early with your Monday Curry Cup handicaps. And if I could say, looking at your site now, the one that obviously got a lot of attention was Western Province -24.
Yeah.
Into 4 to 10 from an opening quote of 9 to 10. So the money started on Province. I know your handicap's probably going to start closer to 29, 30 points here.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask you then where the money's come from. The question I've got to ask you is, are you happy to stand them, or are you worried?
You know, the weather's cleared up in Cape Town now. That's the other thing. The weather's fantastic today. There's no more rain predicted between now and Saturday, to the best of my knowledge. When we went out on Monday, there was a lot of rain, Brent. It was really wet in Cape Town. It didn't stop, you know what I'm saying? And that influenced us to probably go at 24 when we were thinking of 26 or 27. And again, you know, we should have just stuck with what we believed instead of worrying about weather. And we were wrong, and we got the wrong spread. And I think that for Griquas to stay within 24 points of Province, they're going to have to play well above themselves. Look, anything can happen. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think South Africa could beat New Zealand, you know. From our side, we don't need Griquas to beat Western Province. We just need them to lose by 24 points or less at this stage, you know. I'd rather be with the punters than with us at this stage. But, you know what I mean? We live in hope. And, you know, good luck. One of the things we do, we come out early. We take our chances, you know what I mean? If the punters are good enough and they get us, good luck to them, Brent. I mean, I've always said to you, just because we're bookmakers, why does everything have to always be in the bookmaker's favor? We're not a casino. We're a bookmaker, right? You know? We're out there challenging people's intellect and sporting knowledge and whether they recognize value in a price. We're not like a casino where you're guaranteed to lose your money the longer you're there, right?
That's it. Just a question that's come up on the comments column. Vinalin Naidu, I hope you got his name right there. He's asking, is GGGaming going to have a competition every month? I know you said you're not going to run a competition every month, but you are planning to do it again.
Every 2 months.
Every 2 months.
So it will be 1 month on, 1 month off, a little bit like that.
Right. Just to mention, the guys are commenting. I'd say most of them would choose the trip to Loftus. But there are one or two who would rather take the $5,000 free bet if they win the prize. So it's going to be interesting to see which way it goes.
Okay, that's great. You know what I mean? I hope that the guys that win the trip to Loftus all live in Pretoria.
Yes.
My format will be the only GG gamer that lives in Tel Aviv that wins it, and we have to fly him out from Israel or something. You know.
Yeah, we better stress that he must live in South Africa, otherwise you could be flying guys out from all over the world.
Yeah, within a 2,000-mile radius of this, you know. But look, I mean, if you want, I suppose there are a lot of great airlines that fly around the Middle East that they want to come from there. Good luck to them as well, you know.
That's for sure. Gary, let's move on to the next section of betting. We won't run through all the games, but I want you to take me through your cert this week. You've come up with a double, and it works out to 13 to 10.
Yeah, so, you know, like I said, Brent, when we were talking off the air, so to speak, so far I haven't missed with a single bet this week. This I think we're now 6th week, if I remember correctly, you know, and I haven't missed. And this week I'm going with Leicester and Arsenal. Arsenal, very much because I just think Everton are in disarray. I really do. Arsenal look like they've turned the corner. Yeah, I like Arsenal to beat Everton. I'm not a, I've learned over time to be a little bit careful of Arsenal, but I think that they will win. Leicester at home to Huddersfield. The one thing you'll notice with me, I very seldom tip teams that aren't at home. That's not my way of doing things. I like to tip the home teams. And, yeah, those are my two for the weekend. I mean, there are a lot of other ones. Yeah? If I remember correctly, and I'm going to go there now, I'm just trying to log onto my computer here. I thought I was a technological genius when I got us to work on the phone, and I'm starting to lose. Here I come again. There are a lot of short-priced soccer games this weekend. You can look at Liverpool at 1-5. Spurs at 8-10, who I don't like at all. I think Brighton will get something out of their home game to Spurs. Man United are 5-10. There are a lot of short prices this week. I think you'll find Chelsea away from home or 6-10. But yeah, so I'm going for the Arsenal and Leicester double. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm pretty confident. I think 13-10 is a good price. You know what I mean? Leicester play on the Saturday, Arsenal on Sunday. You know, once Leicester come home smoking, if you want to save on Arsenal, you know what I mean, when they go goal up, by all means, yeah, I like that double. I'm very confident.
You'll notice as confident as you are that I'm not calling many bets on this show anymore. Although, to be fair, I did pick a couple of 10-1 trebles and only missed by one leg, but I think I'm leaving the punting side of it to you at the moment, Gary. You are in good form, and I'll certainly consider following that as well. But let's have a look at the competition. We'll first have a look at the other one. I'm going to share my screen now. We're just going to go have a look at the slides, and then we'll have a look here. So,
can I just warn people about one thing? If you ever do a YouTube show live and you log in from your cell phone, try have gloves with you. My phone is so hot, right? I think that my hands have actually melted into the side of the phone. I'm in excruciating pain. I don't know what to do with the phone. But yeah, anyway, let's go on. Yeah, predict the winner margin. Right, that's the one we've got. Second one.
Yes. So I must say, I didn't even know that it worked on a phone. You're the first person to ever come in on a phone, so it's good to know that we can do it if we have to. Calling this one Destination Loftus is we spoke about the fact that you've got to predict the winner and the margin of the Sharks-Lions game and the Springboks-Australia game. First prize is the trip to Loftus or 5,000 Rand free bet. Just to mention to everyone, we'll have full terms and conditions of this on the Good for the Game site tomorrow. So this is just to give you an idea. Second prize, 2,500 voucher. And to enter, you can tweet Brent Graham at Brent Graham and at GGGaming.bet. And you've got to say who's going to win the game and the margin of victory in the Sharks-Lions game. You can do the other game next week. That's no problem. We'll keep the leaderboard. We'll also explain in tomorrow's article exactly how the points are going to work. But essentially, the closer you are, the more points you get. And we're going to have an extra 50% on the points next week. So if you do get off to a slow start, you can still make some ground and win that one. So we'll have everything up on Good for the Game by 9 o'clock on Friday. Let's move on now to the next slide, which is Beat the Cert. And I know the boys are already grabbing their phone for this one. You phone GGGaming now. You got 021-206-6666. You get a password. You use that password to tweet a link to the show as well as at Brent Graham. And if you are in the first 5 to do that, then you're going to win 1,000 Rand bet, which I have. Did I put it on here? Yeah, 1,000 Rand free bet if Gary's double loses. But the first person to do it will also get 2,500 to nothing on Gary's double. And Gary did mention that he hasn't lost any of this. We'll put the conditions of this one up on the site, but the guys can get going now. And the first 5 to obey instructions here, so to speak, are going to win. It sounds like the phones are ringing in the background there, Gary.
Yeah, and I'm not so quick at answering the phones. You know what I mean? They're getting answered in the background. I wanted to try and get the first person. You know who the first person was, Tom? Hey, you know the password? Party time, yeah. Sorry, now everybody knows it. But there they come. They keep coming through here. The first person, I know who the first person was. It was a call that Tumi took. So that's easy enough to, I'll tell you exactly who that was. Hold on a second. Tumi, who was the first call you took? Gary. I think the guy's name was Gary. He didn't say his name. If you can just put there, Brent, who was the first guy that spoke to me?
Oh, it could well have been Gavin Oracle because he's just tweeted. He's tweeted it, and it looks like he's got it right. So I think Oracle Rugby says he was first.
Okay, I'm sure he probably was. You know what I'm saying?
That could poison your double, Gary.
No. He can't cause any damage. Don't worry about that. You know, we'll be okay. You know.
Well, it was interesting because when the guys had to phone, of course, we saw the viewers on the show actually drop because half of them had to hang up on the show and quickly phone through. So anyway, Gary, we'll leave it at that for now. We'll put up all the conditions on the Good for the Game website. And we'll be chatting rugby handicaps in a bit. And very pleased we could get you on the show. I thought I was going to have to go solo there for a while.
No, I'm really happy that I got on. And next week I'll be better prepared going into the Ryder Cup. I'm going to have maybe the most sickest and craziest GG Gone Mad show ever next week. We're going to give away a lot of bets, free things, free memorabilia, everything. We're going to give away free seats to poker tournaments. I'll be honest with you, Brent. Next week's show is properly GG Gone Mad.
Right, looking forward to it. Gary, thanks very much for joining us. Stay tuned or log on to the new link at 9 o'clock for our show, the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. Thanks for joining us, and check out the Good for the Game site tomorrow morning for the T's and C's.